Hi there, my name is Celia Beck, and indeed the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And the Snyder Cut, of Justice League, is the gift that keeps on giving. I did a video about this on Friday, I think, and I've got a whole new video to do right now. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so just bring it up to speed very, very quickly. Back in the midst of time, Zack Snyder, I think a pretty solid filmmaker. Not great writer, but really solid filmmaker, was tapped by Warner Brothers to oversee, to direct their DC comic book movies, to do the whole. And he came up with this idea of doing a minimally 6-movie arc. I think it might be more, actually. He was personally going to direct a 6-movie arc. And he started laying, and we saw the first 2 movies, and he started laying bits of the future in both the movies that we saw. He started working on his 3rd movie, which was Justice League, and he experienced a personal tragedy. Terrible. His daughter committed suicide, which is absolutely horrible. My heart bleeds for him. And so Joss Whedon was brought in, but when Joss Whedon was brought in, because he couldn't work on it, when Joss Whedon was brought in, Warner Brothers were really into changing the direction of the DCEU, which has really been their biggest problem. They don't know how to stick to a plan, which is why I think the MCU fared much better. Because they just needed to stick to the landing. I think they probably would have done much better than they did, but they wanted to change direction. Most notably, they didn't want Zack Snyder's vision, which was much. His movies were 2 to 3 hours long. These were big. They wanted a 19-minute movie where people can go eat popcorn, and enjoy, and they got exactly that. But it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good, and people have been holishing for the original vision, the Snyder Cut, ever since. Because there were so many things that were set up in the other movie, which were intrigued to see where they were going and how they're going to be paid off. So a weird thing happened, a really weird thing happened. This became a cultural line in the sand. You had the fans on one side saying, with the hashtag release the Snyder Cut, and you had the media and the movie industry not liking the fans being so uppity. And I think uppity is the exact right word. They really didn't like it at all. And so they disparaged it. They said, oh, you are terrible incels and terrible people. And then, and they said, it doesn't even exist. Snyder Cut, doesn't even exist. It just doesn't even exist. And then the other day, it turns out it did. Not only it did, and it did, and it's being released on HBO Max. I think that's a pretty good reason to subscribe to HBO Max. Quite frankly, I think it's a really, really good idea for them. But the media, they greeted this news in a strange way. I would say in a strange way. I actually have some video footage of the media when they received the news that the Snyder Cut would indeed be released. I'm going to play that for you right now. Just let me do this. And that's really, really not exaggerating what has happened. They've lost their freaking minds. They are not happy at all. They are not happy campers. I did an article about a video about this on Friday, but there's a much better article we have to go over right now. So okay, can I ask you guys, before we get to that, can you hit the subscribe button? Can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? All those things are fan-frickin-tastic. I'm heading towards 1,000 subscribers. That'd be wonderful. If you can help me get there, that would be great. So again, hit the subscribe button, and hit the share button, and hit the like button. If you do that, if you hit the subscribe button, you can enter yourself into a competition to win something. I give something away each week on this channel. Actually, this one's been going for 2 weeks. It's being given away tonight. Tonight's your last chance. It is Doctor Who, Carnival of Monsters. A great 1973 adventure starring Jon Pertwee and Katie Manning. All you need to do to win it is, as I said, subscribe to the channel and leave a hashtag in the comments, Miniscope, and we'll be giving away tonight when I'm on Tartar Zone, and then we'll be choosing the next thing that we're going to be giving away. Great. Okay, so let's look at this article from Collider, which is, I think, expresses the deep anger and discontent and insanity and pure insanity of the media at this moment. It's crazy. Again, I was reading this and I went, this is crazier than anything I could possibly imagine. Fine, this is by Drew Taylor, obviously a crazy person. I've never met Drew Taylor, but you're crazy, mate. Yeah, you need to get yourself some into some therapy. Okay, let's read this together. Fine. Well, it happened. I'm sorry. That's how it started. Look, if you can read the screen. Well, it happened. Zack Snyder's cut of his failed superhero movie, Justice League, will be released direct-to-consumer streaming platform HBO Max sometime in 2021. You can hear him like, it's like he's covered in feces. You know, he's like, oh God, it's happening. Let's read the headline for this before we get to it. Why releasing the Justice League Snyder Cut sets a dangerous precedent. The dangerous precedent it sets is that you need to be able to engage with the audience. The audience is all important. You know, the audience is more important than you, Clyde. The audience is more important than people giving worthy and important messages. You know, to us dumb founded bumpkins who don't vote the way that they want us to. You know, the audience is more, and what the audience wants is more, and that's a dangerous precedent that it sets. Fine, well, it happens. Zack Snyder's cut of his failed superhero. Like, listen to you, come on. We're in the first line, and you're already a dick, okay? You're already a massive dick. But you're also a bit of a pussy as well. Bit interesting. I'm not sure how that works out. I wouldn't be surprised if you're also an arsehole. Let's find out. Okay, we'll try and... We're going to have these 3 different metrics going on throughout this article. We're going to have his dickness, his pussiness, and his arseholeness. And we're going to see which one of those 3 things wins down, or if they all come together in a glorious super team of their own. Members of the movement who have been hectoring Warner Brothers. How are you hectoring Warner Brothers? Say, listen, I want to give you money. Here, take my money. Just give me this thing that you've already made. You've shot it. You need to do the special effects, but here, take that. Yeah, that's not hectoring. That's being in a really, really great position. A position I wish I was in. To release this version of the movie, see it as a great win. 'Cause it is, idiot! Everyone else should be worried about what this means for the rest of cinema. Yeah, cinema may actually go back to being a consumer-driven entertainment form as opposed to an ideologically driven entertainment form. Yes, it's the end of the world for you, but we get to watch good movies again. The saga of Snyder's Justice League starts long before the internet began crying out for the Snyder Cut. Yeah, obviously he had to make it first before people could ask for it, you idiot! Okay, the production of the movie was fraught with Warner Brothers started second-guessing the decision to go all in on the Snyder once Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice became a commercial disappointment and a critical disaster. I don't think it was a critical disaster. It was okay. It was just a bit long. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a critical disaster. I don't even think it was that much of a disappointment. You know, I just don't think it was. Here's the thing: the Warner Bros., the movie executives, they didn't know what they wanted. They wanted something, and they knew they'll know what it is when they saw it. So they said, this guy will probably give it to us. Zack Snyder will probably give what we want. So he went away and he made his movies, and then he gave it to them. They went, not really what we wanted, actually. I'm not sure what we want, but it's not really what we wanted. So that's really what happened there. An original plan for 2 Justice League movies was reduced down to 1, and the shape of DCEU, that's a bit of a shame. Warner's attempt for a Marvel-style studio interconnected movies grew foggier and less defined. Eventually, Snyder left the project in the wake of a personal tragedy. Now, that was the only reason he left. It wasn't because Warner Brothers was going like, screw you, but Warner Brothers took advantage of the situation. I think quite clearly. I don't think I think if without the personal tragedy, that he wouldn't have been, they wouldn't have changed direction. They wouldn't have done this handbrake turn, which is what they did. They replaced Snyder with Joss Whedon. Yes, the writer-director of The Avengers are probably his last good movies, and its sequel, it was terrible. I think it's one of the worst MCU movies, The Avengers 2, who had a few short months as to do the unthinkable, fix giant cruise ships with a busted hull that was quickly taken on water. No, No, again, this is all your idiotic spin, and that's really all it is. Fans imagine that the rough cut for the Justice League that Snyder submitted to the studio was better than one released in theaters. Yes, we did. We did imagine that because the one released in theaters wasn't very good. Now, I want to tell you the Joss Whedon Justice League is okay if you watch it for the second time, not the first time. First time, it's excruciatingly bad. But second time, if you want to like just jump through it from set piece to set piece, that whole thing with the bat spider, that whole big metal bat spider thing, I quite like. I like the beginning with Batman. There's lots of bits in it that I like. It just, as a movie, it's not very good. But if you want to like just jump around from bits you like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for that. But I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it in its like intended version. They share. Okay, this is where it gets into crazy. They share the hashtag on Twitter, and he's saying it like it's a bad thing. They shared a hashtag on Twitter to make a movement or something they wanted. And they built billboards in California annual heaven to Betsy. Really? I didn't realize. Okay, well now that's kind of like eating babies. Buying billboards, eating babies. Kind of the same thing. I understand why you're so worried about this. And now, even worse. The next thing, they flew planes! And you're going to say they flew planes into skyscrapers. No. This is what you go. They flew planes with a great sign said, release the Snyder Cut. Trailing behind it. Yes. Again, where they would see it, where the movie executive would see it, so they could understand the passion that people had for this, and if they did it, they might be able to make a bob or two. That's really the bottom line. They even got corporations like Subway to contribute to the cause. Okay, so all these things are good things. Everything is good. So, wait for this next sentence. This next sentence is crazy. Worst of all this stuff was bad. All this stuff that so far has been terrible. Worst of all, they cloaked their activity and grew into something of public nuisance. How are they a public nuisance? What kind of public nuisance are they? Under the shadow of charity. Again, citation please. What public nuisance? Did they block roads? Did they stop flights? What kind of public nuisance were they? They weren't a public nuisance. You're just an arsehole. So you're being less of a dick now, and now you're more of an arsehole. Okay, fine. So I think you're more of an arsehole. You're an arsehole with a bit of a dick rising. Okay, there we go. Just in case you're keeping score. They regularly listen to this terrible thing they did. They regularly contributed to suicide prevention foundations. Which on the outset seems noble. Yes, because it is noble. Again, it's not really. This is the way SJW, this guy, deals with charity. If somebody they don't like gives to a charity, they will harangue them and shame them into giving the money back. And then they won't replace the money that the charity lost. That's exactly what they do. Oh, they are awful people. Seems noble. They were concealing what they were actually doing. Bullying everyone. No. Okay, this is why they're freaking out. Because they're basically saying, fans are bullying people. But wait a minute, that's our job. We're supposed to be the bullies. How come you're bullying us? No, I get my lunch money back. They bullied those who suggested that maybe the Snyder version, which would require tens of millions, which HBO Max are very wisely putting into it, the dollars to finish the audio-visual effect, might actually be the worst version. Okay, but again, you don't get a say, arsehole face. You don't get a say in what people want. You don't get a say. People say, I want to buy this. You don't get to say, no, it might not be good. No, but you did get a say. You got a say up until 2 months ago. How's that working out for you now, mate? Yeah. Oh, I tell you, this pandemic worked out pretty darn good. Not really. It was an apocalypse, but for these guys, for guys like us, we're doing pretty good, I think. Other than big out work and death and all those things. But watching these people crumble, which they crumbling before us, is so good. Who would want to watch a half-finished movie? No, if they put the money into the movie, it wouldn't be half-finished, idiot. The skeptics wondered. No, it wasn't skeptics. It was disingenuous pieces of crap like you who didn't want to see anybody have power other than them. They bullied those who thought the theatrical release version was good. No, they didn't. They said they didn't like. That's not bullying. They're saying, I think that's crap. That's called a difference of opinion. I understand somebody having different opinions to you is terrifying. Terrifying. But you need to, grow a bit of a backbone, mate. That's what you really need to do. Be able to stand up and be able to live with the idea that other people have other ideas. Okay, they bullied those who thought they had, but most of all, they bullied Warner Brothers. Yes, these these small individual people who have no power or money or control. They gave to charity. They started a hashtag and they said they very much want to take their meager earnings, their meager money, and give it to Warner Brothers, a multinational corporation. And that's how they bullied them. They bullied them. God, it's so stupid. Who clearly went in a completely different direction from what Snyder was planning. Yeah, again, how'd that work out for them? You said it was such a... the reason they went away from Snyder is because it was a box office disappointment and a critical failure. I think you're describing what actually came out, aren't you? Yeah, I think so. Went in a different direction. Oh no! Why should a studio have to cater to an audience? Because if they don't, the audience won't give them the money. That's why, and they need the money. I tell you, I'm loving AT&T owning Warner Brothers. Did you see DC Comics during the pandemic? They're like, oh crap, we gotta get comics out now. We can't wait for Diamond. We gotta get comics out now. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we gotta. You see, I love that. I love it when people have to justify their own existence because oftentimes they do. They do, and if they can't justify their existence, they go away. Bye-bye. Which I think Kleider is crying about again. What's going on? According to the report in the New York Times, Whedon wrote 80 new pages of material. Yeah, I'm sorry, it wasn't very good, Josh. What do you want to say? Listen, I am glad it wasn't very good because I think Josh Whedon is a terrible person. Absolutely terrible, and a terrible person in that he's a disgusting hypocrite. He's like, oh, women, we got to protect women, and still he's had affairs with cheated on his wife, and you're very good at protecting women until you're caught being crappy to women. So I'm kind of glad it's blown up in your face, you piece of crap. I really am. Fans in the industry began asking anyone involved with the film what they thought about the Snyder Cut and whether or not they thought it should be seen. Again, why not? Why not? One of the most vocal supporters of the movement on Twitter described the move by Warner Brothers as sabotage, failing to acknowledge that if the Snyder Cut submitted was so good, then Warner's would probably release it in the first place. No, wait. Wait. Is it your position? Is it your position that quality drives studios' decisions? No. Clearly it doesn't, because we've seen the crap you've been putting out. We've seen Charlie's Angels. We've seen Birds of Prey. Well, actually, no, we haven't. We haven't seen Terminator Dark Fate because nobody. Again, quality doesn't drive it. Being applauded at your disgusting little cocktail parties. That's what drives your creative decisions. And now you can't afford to do that anymore. Wah! As Snyder eventually began stoking the movement, so too did the stars of the film. Those evil, including Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, and Gal Gadot. Yeah, the stars of the movie. It seemed like a profound waste of everybody's time and further evidence that the only tool in this movement's arsenal was aggressive, unpleasant falsehood. Again. Yeah, what you're basically having a shit over yourself because you're lost. That's essentially what's going on. You're basically having a tantrum because you didn't get to force your own way on people. You didn't get to. You're bullying, which you've been doing for years and years and years, has failed. Everything you're accusing the fans of is what you're doing, is what you're crying about. Every single thing. The fact that Warner Brothers not only has acknowledged the this incredibly obnoxious fan uproar, but also agreed to, per their demands, release the Snyder's Cut is mystifying and potentially dangerous. No, it's not mystifying. I'm going to tell you why it's not mystifying. Again, Warner Brothers is owned by AT&T. AT&T like to make money. AT&T think, I'm a business and I would like to offer products that people would then pay money for in return. They're not in the business like Disney of social engineering, of making, of remaking the world in the image that they would like to see it in. But funnily enough, not most of the country would like to see it in. But they're in the business of making money. So it's not mystifying, and it's not mystifying. And it's not potentially. It is dangerous. It's terrifyingly dangerous for idiots like you. The message is clear. If you bitch and moan enough, chances are the studio might not only hear you, but agree with you. If you want to put it there, or if you create a fan movement for a product that you agree to pay for, the studio may indeed provide that product that you paid for, rather than trying to force you to consume the bilge that they want you to. Maybe they want to listen to the audience rather than lecture them, which again I think is what this is all about. Would agree with it. The fan uproar was at the very least very annoying. At the very worst, especially on Twitter, actively threatening has been vindicated. Again, how do you threaten anybody on Twitter? Really? Twitter isn't real. This is what you idiots have to understand. Twitter isn't real. If somebody calls you a terrible name on Twitter, it doesn't matter. People can call me, and actually I'm kind of pissed off that they haven't. But people can attack me in any way they want on Twitter because I couldn't care less what they say. I really don't know. If they say, the rabbi from another planet eats babies, which is kind of like my go-to bad thing to do. I'll be like, yeah, okay. Yeah. And that's how you deal with Twitter. That is how you deal with Twitter. Okay. Everything they did had purpose because Warner Brothers had finally given what they like. Yeah, again. Supply and demand. We expressed a demand. Warner Brothers decided to create a supply. It's that simple. It's that, and I think there's something else you really hate. You really don't like capitalism. I mean, you really don't like it. Probably because your life is really crappy, and you just don't want to take accountability for it. Okay, we have seen the shadow of release the Snyder Cut movement rear its ugly head recently with the release of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Fans convinced that J.J. Abrams had an original cut that was far superior to the one Disney and Kathleen Kennedy released in theaters began whining, release the J.J. cut. No, nobody did. Everybody had lost interest by that point. What the fans did say is remake episode 8. You remake episode 8, otherwise this is going to be a disaster for Star Wars. If you don't remake episode, that's what will happen. And had they done that, JJ wanted, I think, to make 2 movies. Had they done that, they probably wouldn't have destroyed Star Wars. They probably would, they probably wouldn't be landfills of Rose Tico action figures. It'll probably be like an actual viable, property moving forward, rather than the gutted thing that you've made it into. I've talked to several people involved in the film that said it was a trial to get any cut ready for the December release. Yeah, again, why are you comparing all these terrible decisions with other terrible? Okay, I guess that's why. Comparing terrible decisions to terrible decisions, that kind of works. Decisions, I should say. So the idea an entirely separate version exists is laughable. Yeah, it's laughable until Disney Plus drops it. Really, you don't think Disney Plus is going to drop a special editions of 4 hours long or whatever, or make it into 2 minutes? You don't think they're going to do that? Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they do that? Actually, the reason they wouldn't do that anymore is because people just don't care about Star Wars in the way they used to because of their shocking mismanagement of it. Like any good conspiracy theory, the fact that it couldn't be true doesn't really matter. What are you telling me, arsehole? Are you telling me you don't think there's any additional footage that could be recut to make a new cut of Rise of Skywalker? The rumor was there was 20 different cuts of it flying around. Are you really saying this? Okay, arsehole. Let me say another one. This is exactly what you said with the Snyder Cut. Your face is covered in egg right now, and you're kvetching. That's all that's going on. Why are you doing... This is insanity. You're doing exactly the same thing that you... Okay. I don't know really where to go with this, but okay. The idea the Snyder Cut or Abrams have toiled away on some unseen masterpiece is old. Okay, no! No, they're not saying they told away some unseen masterpiece. They're saying there was a creative vision that the director had that was then tampered with by idiots, idiot studio executives. Oh, what? That never happens, does it? Next you can tell me there's no casting couch. Yeah, go and tell that to Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, go. I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that. The idea that Snyder told away is ultimately more comforting than the reality of the situation. They just make lousy movies. Listen. People want to hope that they made movies that were better than the one we got, and yeah, people want to hope that movie executives are idiots and creators can actually do something better without their interference. That's I think what people want to say. And I think that's really what's going on here. For as long as the movement has arranged, Warner Brothers has done the right thing. No, what? Done the right thing and simply not taken their money and simply ignored them. The internet, you know why they did that? Because they were able to. Because we existed in this incredible economy where you can make shit where nobody wants it and still have enough of a profit margin to survive. That's over. The internet gave them a voice. The internet gave them a voice. When they shouldn't have had one. Oh God! Oh, they're not giving a voice when they shouldn't have one. Oh, yeah, I don't like social media. Only the plebs get to talk now. I liked it better when it's only the good people, the right people. I'm so good. I don't like the plebs talking. Oh God! Oh! Yesterday, the studio gave in to something that they never expected, but always craved. Gave them never expected, but always craved. Legitimacy. Yeah, no, they always expected, but did crave. And again, no, but what they really gave them was something much better. While they gave them legitimacy, they delegitimized you. That's what, and again, that's why you're shitting your pants. That's exactly why. And now we're screwed. Yes, you're screwed. Fans' displeased by perceived slights will now be insufferable. Yes, you got to make things for us, not at us. That's the difference. Not only will they demand alternate versions of movies more often, but their rhetoric will infect the release of this and any other DC property. Again, they're saying we're the customer. We're the customer. This is what we want. Can you give us what we want? And if you give us what we want, we'll be a customer. If you don't give us what we want, we're not going to be a customer. How are you going to survive without customers? You were doing great before. One pandemic later, you're like, yes sir. Here's your Snyder's cut, sir. Here's your Snyder's cut, sir. I'm sorry. I hope it's comfy. Do you want it in a different package? I can give you a different package. Here's just like, yeah. You don't like that, do you? Little pieces of shit. Rhetoric will lead any of the. If Warner Brothers thought that this would quiet them down, it won't. If anything, it will amplify their voices. The entertainment is already the entitlement is already unbearable. We agree. The entitlement is already unbearable. Your entitlement is unbearable. You also have to feel for the creative talent involved in trying to fix Snyder's problem. From Whedon to the countless artists and technicians who labored day and night. Oh no! Oh, these poor people who were paid highly to do work are now going to be paid highly to do more bloody work. Labor to release to meet the release date. It also won't be fun for Matt Reeves, director of the forthcoming The Batman, to be asked questions about this version of the character whilst working to establish his own material. Yeah, no, it won't be fun for him because again, we've introduced something incredible into the entertainment industry. We've introduced something absolutely incredible. Oh, there's more. Well, I thought this was it. Which is something that you really, really don't want under any circumstance. You know what we've introduced? Accountability. How'd you like that? Yeah, I kind of like it a lot. Accountability is something that we all live with, other than you. And now you're crying. Now you're crying because you're accountable. Well, no, you're crying because you're powerless. Because your power has gone. That's why you're crying. And it would be wise to remember that this is not the case of an artist having his paintbrush taken away from him midway through the completion of his masterpiece. That's exactly what it was. He left the movie because he had experienced a personal tragedy. Justice League is a corporate product. Yes, and that corporation wants to make money, wants to survive. One decided to sell Happy Meals and bed sheets and pave the way for additional equally unambitious product. Snyder agreed to provide something and didn't follow through. Okay, you've just lost your mind. Okay, so you're saying that in the midst of him like sitting by his daughter's graveside, crying his eyes out, he has to go back to the editing suite. Okay, fine. Thank you for your empathy. Thank you for your compassion. Now, now Warner Brothers is going back on its commitment and instead is just giving fans something. It's unclear now if it'll even be a movie. It could be a miniseries. I'll be up for that. I'll totally be up for that. Yeah. Warner Brothers has been bullied worst of all, the second worst of all in this article. Not that their behavior regarding Snyder's dismissal was that admirable, and they have responded in kind. Here, just have it. Now just leave me alone. No. They don't. They're not doing it to be left alone. They're doing it to survive. They don't want to be left alone. They want to be patronized. They want people to buy their products. They want people to buy their movies. They want to be able to financially justify their existence. But bullies are never done. Yeah, you're right. This is what this article is. Bullies are never done. You're right. They'll be back. You're back right now. And we'll all have to pay for it. No, only you. You're going to have to pay for it. You personally, you're going to have to pay for it. Read what the Snyder Cut actually means and how it came to be, or whether or not it'll be a movie. Who gives a crap? I don't want to read anything else you have to say. I think you're an idiot. So let's say you are a pussy. You're a massive pussy. You are a pussy. That pussiness goes underneath everything you do. You are a dick. Also, you're an arrogant dick. But most of all, on top of being a dick and a pussy, you're an arsehole. You are an arsehole. My name is Sheila Betkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.